As we all know, Donald Trump says ridiculous and oftentimes racist things, and one of those racist things that he said about a month ago has really gotten him mocked online, and of course for good reason. And that was the comment he made during the debate with President Biden that immigrants are taking black jobs. Now, the immediate question there was, what's a black job? And of course, Donald Trump didn't have an answer, but what he did have was a bunch of people mocking him online, and rightfully so. But to add a bit of context for the most recent example of Donald Trump being hilariously and brutally mocked for this remark, before we get to that, I want to play just a little bit of context of Donald Trump getting pushed back for his black jobs comment.
My message is to stop people from invading our country that are taking, frankly, a lot of problems with it. But one of the big problems, and a lot of the journalists in this room I know and I have great respect for, a lot of the journalists in this room are black. I will tell you that coming from the border are millions and millions of people that happen to be taking black jobs. You had the best.
What exactly is a black job, sir?
A black job is anybody that has a job. That's what it is. Anybody that has a job.
All right.
And they're taking the employment away from black people. They're coming in, they're invading. It's an invasion of millions of people, probably 15, 16, 17 million people. I have a feeling it's much more than that. And everybody's been seeing what's happened.
Now, of course, Donald Trump doesn't care about what he would call black jobs. He doesn't care about anyone or anything but himself. But someone who does care about their black job, who decided to poke a little fun at Donald Trump, was Olympic gymnast Simone Biles, one of our greatest American athletes and maybe one of the greatest Olympians ever. And after she won gold this year in Paris, she took to Twitter to poke a little fun at Donald Trump. And let's check that out. The Olympic gymnast who won 2 gold medals in Paris, making her the most decorated U.S. gymnast, took a swipe at former President Donald Trump in a post on X. The 27-year-old shared a post from singer Ricky DeVilla, who celebrated Biles as she posed for photos clutching her medal and a goat necklace. Simone Biles, being the greatest of all time, winning gold medals and dominating gymnastics, is her black job, DeVilla wrote. I love my black job, Biles responded, adding a black heart emoji. The post appears to be in response to remarks Trump made at a June debate. They're taking black jobs now, and it could be 18, it could be 19, and even 20 million people, he said about the role immigrants play in the U.S. economy. They're taking black jobs and they're taking Hispanic jobs, and you haven't seen it yet, but you're going to see something that's going to be the worst in our history. Now, like I said, Donald Trump has received a lot of blowback, deservedly so, for that remark, but Simone Biles might be the most famous example of someone mocking Donald Trump. That tweet from Biles with almost 800,000 likes on Twitter is being seen by everyone as we are celebrating one of our greatest gymnasts and one of our greatest Americans in Simone Biles. But she wasn't the only one who had a response to Donald Trump's black jobs comment recently. And of course, friend of the show, Jessica Tarlov, on Fox News, on the Fox Propaganda Network, as always, shuts down Donald Trump's lies, and she did it about that remark in this clip.
Can I just add to that about the immigration point? Because obviously immigration is a strong issue for the Republican side of this right now, and they're going to be talking about the border, et cetera. But Donald Trump even fumbled the bag with that one and said they're coming in and they're taking black jobs. And so then the response is right away, well, what is a black job? What are you talking about? And it plays right into the hands of Kamala Harris, because you know what a black job is? It's Vice President of the United States of America. It's a Supreme Court justice.
Listen, of course it is, Jessica.
Well, but why does he keep saying that?
You know why? I don't know why. Can't get inside his head. But
perfectly put from Jessica Tarlov there. And while Simone Biles set her sights on Donald Trump with that response on Twitter, Donald Trump isn't the only one who has made comments about Biles in the past. Is Donald Trump's running mate, J.D. Vance, who seems to have said the worst things possible about every person in America, took aim at Simone Biles in 2021 during the Tokyo Olympic Games. Shortly after the U.S. women's gymnastics team won gold at the Paris Olympics, an old clip of J.D. Vance talking about Simone Biles went viral on social media. Led by the 27-year-old Biles, the U.S. won the team final for the first time since the 2016 Olympic Games in Rio de Janeiro. At the 2020 Games in Tokyo, which was delayed to 2021 due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the team won silver. The Tokyo team, however, had to finish the event without Biles. After making a number of uncommon mistakes in both qualifying and the warm-up final, she withdrew from the competition. Biles later cited her mental health as the reason for the decision and explained she had been experiencing the twisties, a loss of spatial awareness and bodily control during aerial maneuvers that greatly increases the risk of serious injury. And here is that clip from J.D. Vance giving his, frankly, strange and disrespectful response about Simone Biles' decision.
Did she let down the country, do you think?
Well, I think obviously it's understandable that she was going through an incredible amount of pressure. What I find so weird about this, and it reflects more on the media than it does on Simone Biles, is that we've tried to turn a very tragic moment, Simone Biles quitting the Olympic team, into this act of heroism. And I think it reflects pretty poorly on our sort of therapeutic society that we try to praise people not for moments of strength, not for moments of heroism, but for their weakest moments. And look, being an athlete is tough. Being an athlete at that level is incredibly tough. A normal response in this moment would be to say, it's just a shame that she's going through this. It's a shame that she quit. But instead, what our press has done, I think, is turn this into this weird therapeutic moment. Let's praise her for doing this. And I think that's really where the problem here lies.
Now, it comes as no shock that J.D. Vance would make some disgraceful comment because that's who we have come to know him to be at this point. But again, it just continues to raise this point, which is true of MAGA Republicans, that they want to be involved in every aspect of our life. They want to critique and control every single decision we make, whether that is women's bodily autonomy or mental health choices that a U.S. gymnast wants to make at the Olympic Games. It's no right of J.D. Vance's to critique Simone Biles, someone who has dedicated their entire life to their sport, and it's certainly not his decision to tell women how they can raise their families or what decision they should make about their own body. And it's just ridiculous and important, though, because this shows us who MAGA is. As much as they want to pretend to care about freedom, they do the opposite. MAGA wants to have complete control over us. They don't want people to make their own choices. They don't want us to enjoy our civil liberties. They want to be in complete control. And so, more so than just pointing out the fact that J.D. Vance and Donald Trump are weird for the comments that they make, we have to acknowledge that this is something greater. This is something emblematic of how Donald Trump would want to govern. And when Kamala Harris talks about not wanting to go back, we aren't going back. We aren't going back. She doesn't just mean to the chaos of Donald Trump. Sure, the Donald Trump first term, 2016 to 2020, was complete chaos. It was a mess. It was a terrible presidency with a complete mismanagement of the COVID-19 pandemic. And even before them, every day there was chaos within the White House because we didn't know what Donald Trump was going to tweet, say, or do. And so, of course, we don't want to go back to that chaos, but we also don't want to go back to the place where Donald Trump and J.D. Vance want to push us to a time of 50 years ago when women didn't enjoy reproductive freedom, and they don't as much now, but we can fight past that and actually preserve the rights for women to make choices about their own bodies. We can restore Roe v. Wade, but Donald Trump doesn't just want to strip women of their bodily autonomy. He wants to strip all Americans of these fundamental freedoms that we've enjoyed for so long. And so that's what we're talking about when we're saying we're not going back. And it has to be shown in every example that J.D. Vance and Donald Trump aren't just weird and awful and disgraceful, but this isn't just their personalities, it's also the way that they want to govern. And so I think it is important to make that connection and call it out. And that's what we're going to continue to do on this channel. And if you want to be a part of that movement, make sure that you hit that subscribe button, join what we are building here. It would really mean a lot to me. And if you want to support this channel, you can hit the join button and become a member, in which you'll get access to exclusive videos, bonus content every week. And it's a great way to support this new and growing channel and would really mean the world to me. We are new and we are growing, but it's still an early process, so your support would go a long way. And as always, make sure you hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. It goes a long way in supporting these videos and pushing them out to a wider audience. And until next time, I'll see you soon.